biggest challenge in facing Clay Guida?
The biggest challenge facing Clay Guida is just instilling my game plan, not letting him dictate the pace, dictate how intense the fight is. I'm going to dictate where it goes, where it takes place, how fast it is, how slow it is, if it's on the ground or standing up. It's me being the one dictating it.
And certainly, in his last fight against Pettis, his wrestling has really come to the forefront. So that's something obviously we'll be looking out.
Yeah, watching all his tape, all his fights, he's known as a very aggressive wrestler, taking a lot of guys down. That's something he's been known for quite a while. So definitely something you got to pay attention to, for sure.
Clay was talking about focusing on stamina. He's one of the highest pressuring fighters in the game. Him saying that, how are you feeling about the stamina?
Stamina is something that I've always used to my advantage ever since I was junior high school wrestling. It's something I've always relied on. I'm going to rely on in this fight as well, same as I've always have.
Two high level pedigree wrestlers, or can we expect banging competition or wrestling?
I think actually, to be honest, we're both really good wrestlers and all that stuff. But I think we're pretty advanced as well as far as MMA fighters. Like we don't have to rely just on wrestling. Like some guys when they get to the UFC, they're known as just wrestlers. I think Clay and I are both pretty well rounded. So I think you expect actual mixed martial arts affair. You can actually expect us to do some jiu-jitsu on the ground, some wrestling, do some boxing, throwing some kicks. You can see all of it.
And you talk about dictating the pace of the fight, but he's like one of the most intense, one of the fastest guys that just jumps around the octagon for 3 rounds. What does somebody in your position do to kind of control that?
Guess we're going to have to wait and see, huh? Saturday night. We're going to see that.
Are you part jumpy? You are one of the most rubbery, elusive guys. How is it that, I mean seriously, this is a serious question, but how do you find you're able to be so elusive in submission?
A big part of that is thanks to my coach John Crouch, just knowing the right technique on what to do. It's a big difference if you're stuck in a triangle and this side of your shoulder's cutting off this side of your carotid artery, and his arm or leg or whatever's cutting on this side. So if you can just angle just a quarter inch, just this much difference, and then that's the difference between being put to sleep in 3 seconds or being able to stay there for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, how long that guy wants to squeeze. So it's more about knowing the right technique to get out of the moves, but also it helps that my capping point for most people it might be here, for me it might be here because I am so flexible. So it's a 2-part answer.
Building on the first UFC for boxing and realizing that they're not going to any area, they'll be streaming it.
I won't lie, I was a little bit sad, I was a little bit disappointed when I first heard that, kind of bummed out, but it's still awesome, still a complete treat for myself to be a part of such a big event, to have all you guys here with cameras on my face and microphones, it's a thrill to me. I never in my wildest dreams imagined I'd be doing this sort of stuff.
Now you were a champ in the WEC, how important is it to get another title this time? Of course it would be in the UFC.
It's very important, very, very important. That's something we all strive for.
Come Saturday, you win Saturday night's fight. Fighters make fights. Clay beat Pettis, and you lost a very entertaining fight with Pettis. What's more important for you, get Frank Edgar for the title or get a rematch with Pettis?
I love Pettis. They got nothing bad to say about him. He's a cool dude. I will see him again in the octagon before he retires. Before I retire, I will see him in the octagon again. But I think it's gonna be a matter of him, getting back up to the title shot because I fully intend on beating Clay up, getting that title shot, beating Frankie up, and then eventually, hopefully, I get a chance to see him again for the UFC belt.